to Man of Manliness. Mouth of Manliness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't remember the words because I'm on the spot. Oh, my
Thank
baby.
you, Graham Coxon. Making everything so complicated. Yeah. Welcome to the Mouth of Manliness. Welcome to your hour of talking about things and not being afraid. So we've had, my name's Nick Noyes. Welcome, and this is my associate and dear friend. I didn't realise I said associate.
That's all right. What's associate mean then to you?
Associate is normally someone you work with or something.
Yeah, we do. We work together.
Yeah, I know, but
we work very well
together,
together.
Aren't we? Yes, Brad Action.
Howdy.
And we've got a guest as well.
Yeah.
Very pleased to have Neil.
Hello.
I don't know how to refer to you as Neil Pye.
Neil Pye, yeah.
Neil
I
Pye.
love
I'm
your
still
second
Neil
name.
Pye, yeah.
Neil Pye, your second name is my favourite second name. I love pies anyway, so.
Yeah.
It's not my real second name, though.
Oh, is it
No,
not?
it's not.
Just like a stage name?
No, that's why I said I don't know what to say.
It was a stage name. It started out as a stage name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it stuck,
Nice.
basically.
Yeah, I like
it's
it.
stuck, but it's all right, isn't it?
I'm all right
Yeah.
with it. Well, it's like you're Nick Noyes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Always. And it's it kind of suits me, I think, like
Yeah, it
Neil
kinda
Pye.
does, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So so Neil and I have known each other. I was trying to work it out it's around 32 years.
Wow.
I couldn't do the maths on it, but I could tell you when I first met you.
Yeah, I can remember when I first met you.
I think it was Rag Day, if I remember rightly. No, I don't know if we were introduced, but the first time I saw you or became aware of you, you were playing in Cred Not Crud.
CNC.
Wow.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had a really cool H8 amp with nothing shocking on it,
Yeah.
which looked. Is it
There.
still there? It is. Yeah. It hasn't got nothing shocking on it anymore, though.
No.
Oh, I'm disappointed about
Still
that.
got loads of fucking drawers.
But yeah, and we played at Rag Day at Thurrock Tech, and there was like 4 bands. I think Serious Problem played that day, and the band I was in played that day.
So it was at Thurrock Tech. We were playing the CNC. Respect.
What are they called?
Cred Not Crud.
Cred Not Crud.
Cred Not
Crud.
Crud.
Yeah, we're
What does it mean?
dreadful, eh?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Like, we're good, not shit.
Oh, right, credible, not crud.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I like that name. Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that was like our first gig, and Serious Problem were playing as well, and Neil was playing in Bennett's band.
That's right,
playing
yeah.
bass.
Yes.
Neil looked very cool.
Nice.
You had like you looked really curie, but not overly curie.
I worked very, very hard to,
You had like
to
a big
pitch
baggy cardigan on. I thought you looked cool. I've always
Thanks.
thought you wear jeans well.
that. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
do.
think I've got a bottom for jeans.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
That's a
No,
very
you know,
important
like
thing.
tall
I'm
people-
struggling
people-
with trousers. I'm having a
Jeans
nightmare.
could be hard work.
I have to have the top button undone at the moment. I'm going for a big fat thing at the moment. but-
I'm getting a sore belly now.
Yeah.
I've got a new belt for Christmas.
All right.
And it's got a metal clip on it, and it
Oh,
wraps where my
yeah,
guttings.
yeah.
See my guttings?
Yeah.
Put it around the side bit.
Yeah,
That's what
people
I
don't
do.
understand, do they?
it
I'm
gets quite
now
sore.
considering. I know Ricky Gervais wears his jogging bottoms all the time, but he has them made to look like trousers.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So even when he's like super smart meetings and stuff like that, he's actually wearing jogging bottoms. And I'm considering doing it. I did wear some pajama bottoms that are black to do the school run the other day, and I felt
that's-
pretty
I
that's
wear,
lounge
good.
wear.
I wear pajamas a lot. I wear
Yeah.
pajamas a lot.
I should start doing it a lot more.
There's always women's trousers.
Yeah, thought
It's a bit
about that.
stretchy. I remember the first time I put on a pair of jeans that had latex in them.
All right.
Oh, it's stretchy jeans.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
actually,
and
I
I
think
wasn't
I've got-
expecting it. It was
Makes
quite a
you feel
surprise.
I
kind
think I've got a pair of like skinny jeans that might have like they're quite sort of stretchy.
They were normal. They weren't skinny or anything. I just pulled them on. And it was like,
Nice.
Yeah,
oh
I
wow,
should look
oh,
into
right,
that.
this is all right.
I
Yeah,
get that.
Bit
Yeah.
more movement, bit roomy.
yeah.
What I noticed.
I think these might even be stretchy. Yeah, look, these are stretchy.
Skinnier than mine.
Yeah.
What I
look
noticed
into that.
is I've pretty much worn like a belt buckle since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I like a belt buckle.
Yeah.
And like this is the first belt I've had in about 20, no more than that, probably 30 odd years.
Yeah.
That hasn't got like a buckle on it.
Yeah.
But what they did was where my gut would hang over, and if you look at this one, it goes rusty.
Sure.
Yeah, mine went.
Look, so the silver's coming.
Yeah.
You're going to get an infection or something, wouldn't you?
Where are you? There you are.
Yeah.
Look, it goes rusty.
That's a nice belt, though.
I think that's quite undignified. But then there's a bit of me that thinks like I've worn that in myself.
Are you talking about your gut or the belt?
My belt.
Oh, right.
But I've lost weight recently.
Have you?
I have not
I
done the
haven't,
opposite.
I've put on weight and then lost it, and that tends to be what I do. I don't seem to have to do it. Though.
I'm getting a phone call from the gym tomorrow about a new gym regime thing that I'm going to be doing. First time I've been to the gym in 20 years. But I'd like to do it, yeah, if it's free.
You'll do it.
Do it.
But yeah, I'm thinking of doing it as part of this, maybe filming it and.
I've been paying for a gym
sponsorship.
membership for about 10 years now.
Have you? How many times have you been?
I intermittently.
Yeah. When I was a recruitment consultant for a little while, I had spiky hair and played five-a-side football for a few months. And there were all the lads were like, oh yeah, come, we've got our commission in, like we're gonna go down the gym and sign up. I got like platinum membership and stuff like that, and did the walk round and stuff like that. I think I went once, and I ended up in debt with them as well after a little while. That was like my only gym experience. So
No, I do. I like the gym's all right. I like the gym. I could go to the gym, but I just I don't. There's too many people there. If there's no one else there, I'd be all right with it. And I remember, I think actually the last time I stopped going because I was there trying to exercise, and one of the trainers came up and started talking to me.
right.
Because I didn't have headphones. I forgot my headphones that day.
Tips and stuff.
I don't know, but he started talking to me, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't want someone talking to me.
Do you then feel indebted to talk to him again afterwards, like
Yeah.
to see him next time?
No,
It's a bit weird.
somehow the conversation went. I was like, right, I'll sign up for some sessions. Yeah, sure, mate.
Oh,
And
no.
after that, I just didn't go back.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I was
it
like,
can get a bit awkward.
yeah.
It's
But
difficult.
I don't mind, like, it doesn't bother me when there's loads of people who look better than you there. I think
It's the inspiration.
It just feels really macho at gyms. That's why I don't like gyms. And it's all like, like...
well, I mean, there is
it
like,
just seems really sexually charged as
Yeah.
well.
it probably is, like, there is a lot of guys there, like, in front of the mirrors, like, really working out and making sure they look good. And a lot of people go there to look good. But then I don't sort of go, I go like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 10 o'clock in the
That's a
morning
good shout.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's just all old people.
Yeah.
And, there's an aerobics class full of 50-year-old women and water
Yeah.
aerobics downstairs, and I can sort of just do the exercise I need to do and get it out of the way so I can get on with my day,
I think that's interesting because I imagine there's lots of blokes who feel quite nervous about going to the gym because of those kind of scenarios.
That's
Yeah,
why I
it's-
quite like running, because you can just, when you see someone, you can just run off in a
Yeah.
different
Yeah,
direction, turn
yeah,
around again. It's not too bad.
I started running this week.
Yeah.
With me and my little boy. Yeah, we start going running together.
Oh, that's good.
Not like anything big. We're doing like couch to 5K like everybody does.
Is that park run? Have you heard of that?
I've heard of park run. Yeah, I know.
How many miles is that?
2.5
know,
miles to a kilometre.
Yeah, I'm not going to. No, we've run for. We've literally at the moment we've done it 3 times. We get up, it's half hour. You walk for 5 minutes. You run for a minute. You walk for a minute and a half. You run for a minute, and over the weeks it gets harder and
Well,
harder.
the park
Oh,
runs
okay,
that I
that's a bit
started
more
doing, they're in most
palatable.
towns as well. You just print off a barcode off the internet, and then basically you turn up at 9 o'clock. They say go. The fast ones go fast. The slow ones go slow. There's some like people, some families just push their kids around. People walk their dogs, but essentially it's a 5K loop. And we'd all been out on the piss somewhere, and lads were like, "Oh, come on, like, we're gonna do this thing tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, I'm up for that." And I got there in the morning. I was the only one there, but I'd bought all the gear and that luminous gear and headbands and shoes.
So fucking you, that
And,
really
I was
is.
like, literally, come on, where
Well,
is
I'm gonna
everyone?
go throw some money.
And there was no one there. So I thought, I'm in for a penny, so I'll give it a go. And like, I just really struggled. I couldn't run the whole 5K. Like, I walked like the last bit of each.
Oh
lap
no,
kind
you
of
had
thing.
pictures.
Yeah, there were pictures. Yeah,
Yeah,
they were taking
pictures on
photos. I thought,
Facebook.
oh god, it's like after Christmas. That I was all fat, out of breath. I was like, oh, don't take photos of me. And then I thought, oh, do you know what? This is all right. And then I said, oh, like anyone coming next week? Yeah. Like, we're all definitely coming next week. Got there next week. They didn't turn up again. So I was like, oh, sod it. I'll give it a go. And I was like a couple of minutes quicker the next time. I thought, oh, that's good. I wonder if I can get quicker.
How far can you run then? If you was to start running out the front door now, how far would you get before you had to stop?
The front door.
Yeah, I would get very
Yeah,
far.
that's about it. I haven't run properly
very
since those park runs.
How long ago was that?
That would probably be about 5 years ago.
Oh, right. I
Last
thought it was quite
one
recent.
was over here was when I was living in Grays. I haven't done the South End ones yet. But my little
Just
boy
think-
went through a phase, I think last summer, where he'd get up early and like wait to tap me on the side of the head and go, "Dad, should we go jogging?" And like every little bit of me is like, No, but I want to be seen to be leading examples. And sod it, coming in. It's like with Chuck shorts on. He puts his football kit on.
Yeah.
And that was start. I've got videos of that actually. It's quite funny because it's
How
like,
old is
come
he?
on, he's 5 now.
It's probably quite easy to keep
That
up
is
with.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I don't know if I would.
He's
but,
like, come
I
on,
probably
like, let's
forced
go.
myself
And
to do it
literally,
once.
he gets a little way out and it was freezing cold as well. And there's a video of him going, Dad, like, should we go back in? Like, is it a good idea? I'm like, oh, come on, you want it to go? So we'll see what we can get out of it. And in the end, like, it was good. Like, get the old dolphins running
It's
around.
like, it incorporates 2 of my least favourite things. Like, kind of outside and, like, exercise.
The thing is, you don't look like you need to.
Like, I walk my dog.
Do you feel like physically fit?
No.
But you look
Like,
like,
if I run or anything, like, I'm fucking on my knees.
Oh, wow,
I really am.
Yeah, but it doesn't, like, I'm awful. Like, I'm awful. I'm so unbelievably unfit. But it doesn't mean that if you started running, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Like, everyone I've spoken to is just like, yeah, you just start doing it.
Yeah, that is it. It becomes your own little thing that you just get up and go and do.
I just don't really.
I've got to do it because I started crying today because I was out of breath doing my shoelaces up. It's horrible.
So, anyway, that's funny because that was the same day. As far as when we met, that was the same day I would say that I met you. No, we didn't speak, but yeah, we did meet that day, and you played bass, and then I kind of saw you on and off all the time, really.
Yeah, I don't know how long it was after that. We just started seeing each other at the brush and things like that, and hanging out, and
Like we had a lot of the same friends, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then I went to university, and then Serious Problem kind of started happening a bit.
yeah.
And then obviously I saw you loads through Serious Problem because I wasn't in Serious Problem. I have been in Serious Problem, but I wasn't in it. And so sometimes my band, Manliness, would play together.
That's right, because you joined Honeyloss, didn't you?
Yeah.
And they did really well. You got shirts, didn't you? I remember being really jealous. Like, you all turned up with shirts on.
Oh yeah.
The same
like
shirt.
that.
And it was like, where'd you get those shirts? I go, shirt company sent them to us. I'm like,
That's amazing.
yeah.
I remember thinking, like, how have they done that? I remember thinking we've been slogging at Serious Problem for like what felt like, it was probably only a year and a half, but it felt like an eternity. When you're 19 or 20, it seemed like a really long time. And you lot turned up and you got like signed and
Free
stuff
clothes.
straight away. And it was like,
Yeah. We didn't get signed, but we did get some free clothes.
I thought you did get signed. I thought you did. But yeah, you got free stuff. And like, I think Bennett got a McDonald's given to him once. Because the guy knew him from Serious Problem, and I walked up in the queue behind, he didn't recognise me. And
he got a McDonald's.
I didn't get
That's
anything.
amazing. That's like living the life.
Benny got a free fillet of fish put in the bag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah, I bet. It does feel good though when things like that. We got sent
yeah.
stuff from our amazing sponsor, Ray Gun Effects, rayguneffects.com, and they sent us t-shirts and pedals and stuff like that. And I come around here, didn't I? Well, I was coming around. Oh no, it was when we all come around. And you were like, yeah, look at that. And it was just all in a nice box. And it just feel like a rock star.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That was before we went to see Eddie. So it was like, that was just like the most amazing day.
Yeah.
Loads of good things
That was a
happened.
good day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I've
so,
had some good days.
in the days of Serious Problem, Neil was the bass slinger, and I always think of you as being like up there as in a really.
You said
good
some
bass
very nice
player.
things about me.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah.
Like I really, I totally mean that.
I don't-
Like the
I
bass
don't-
lines, basically, Serious Problem became good when you and Bennett started playing. Because like Bennett's a really good guitar player, and Neil was really, really fucking good bass player.
Yeah, but it was also the time when we started working really hard at it. And it is also the time when it's probably the time when it formed into what it became, because we got obviously Ross on the decks.
that's true.
It was absolutely
DJ
amazing.
Destruction.
Yeah. And Gel
Dennis.
and Whiffin.
Yep.
Then obviously was like absolute fucking genius. Like,
It refined him, didn't it? It refined him. And it totally, it's really good. Like, it suddenly all started to work.
and it clicked, yeah. And we had some
Some
really
fucking
bad
brilliant-
times. Yeah, I remember.
Really good gigs, though.
I remember some good gigs, and I remember people throwing chairs at each other as well, like in the band. I remember lots of arguments and
remember
fights
that.
as well. Yeah, it was quite stressful, I think, because there was so many of us.
There's 9 people.
Yeah.
I was at the gig at the Civic.
Yeah.
Did you play that?
Well, which
Last
one? The
like
last,
one, yeah.
No,
No.
I didn't.
No, you
I
didn't.
I didn't. No, I didn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Right.
I had to. Stu made me laugh because he said, because we'd been rehearsing, and I was like, I'd done obviously Serious Problem. I can't remember why Serious Problems felt a bits, but I think I remember why I packed it in. And Dennis played me a tape of some songs that he'd written, and I was just absolutely blown away by the songs.
Is that why you packed it in?
Yeah, he played me a tape of it, and I was like, I want to be doing this. I want to be doing what you just played me.
I've heard that tape, and it is good. And then I also heard the stuff that you, as a band, did, and I used to play it all the time.
Yeah,
it was really like you had like loads of harmonies, and it was really kind of complex.
Yeah,
but it was quite poppy. It was like not to kind of diminish anything, but it was in like there was a kind of blurry vein to it.
Dennis used to write a lot of stuff that was all. It was all. Blur were going quite big at the time as well. I think, if I remember rightly.
But then wrote really weird, like the songs were quite kind of strange, disjointed as well. But he would tell stories, a bit Sid Barrett-y.
Oh. Yeah, it was a little bit Sid Barrett to it, and there's a little bits like stuff where all of a sudden he'd come in and he'd play a bit, and we'd learn to play it, and then we went into the studio to record it, and like the engineer was like, "What is the time signature of that bit?" And we were like, "I've got no idea," and he worked it out, and it was some weird like 17/8 time or something, and we'd just been playing, and Dan was like, "No, it just goes like this."
Thing is, the engineer's probably trying to snap everything to grid or trying to work out the reverbs and stuff like that.
Then stuff would have it really simple.
Yeah, nice.
It was awesome. Yeah.
So was that an actual band you're in then, or were you just writing songs?
No, I've always been in bands since I was from about the age of 15, probably till about the age of 30.
So Serious Problem weren't your first band?
No, the first band I was in at school. It was a teenage indie band, shoegaze band, and that was the band that played at the Thurrock Tech, and that was great. And I've always been in bands with Bennett, which I thought about most of the time. So, and then I was in that, felt a bit, and joined Serious Problem. Then Bennett came in there, and then from there we moved on to do the Somethings, and Bennett came in there.
Yeah,
he's always following me around. And then I moved away for a good few years. I left. I moved to. I started moving around. I went away.
Because I kind of always saw you and Bennett as being like really like good musicians, proper musicians, and like still like I don't really know what I'm doing. I
still regard Bennett as being really, 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 really good. I never thought I was that good. I never thought I was that good.
It's funny how music works though, isn't it? Because no one thinks they're good, and then you do a little bit and you think, oh, that's good, and then you'll see someone else and you're like, oh, I'm nowhere near as good as that. I like to think like people like Clapton and Hendrix still had those people where they'd think, oh, I'm good, and they'll see someone else and think, oh, no, I'm not as good as that.
I think what happens, you do what I do, and you go, no, I just play my own thing, and it don't mean like it either works or it don't work. Yeah. But like when we did when that Civic Hall gig, I played Dennis's bits because Dennis didn't want to do it again, and I still see Dennis.
I see Dennis still.
Yeah, I don't see him a lot, and then the Matt Hogg played bass. He's a teacher. I saw him yesterday at my daughter's school. He's a good guy. And so he was like, came along and he came and opened up his bass case and he's got like a Ricky. Like,
oh, really?
Like yours, but
awesome.
like a Sunburst one. You know, like the Lemmy Ricky.
Yeah.
I think one of the best bass guitars that there ever was.
Yeah.
And so I always associate with your sound. And he was like, you know, I think it was quite a compliment that he was really just playing like you.
Yeah. No, it's good. Really it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's a good thing.
So you moved away?
Yeah, I moved a lot. I moved around a lot.
Did you really?
Yeah, from it's really weird. From the age of about I think I first moved out my mum and dad's house when I was 19, and I went to live with a mate in a flat in a box room, which you might well remember. And I stayed there for about 6 months, and then I went home for 6 months, and then I lived in like what was effectively a squat in Southend for about 6 months.
Really?
It wasn't a squat; I had to pay rent, but I had a curtain for a door, and it was when I was like working on the seafront and stuff like that. And it was a bad time.
Neil used to work in Quasar in Southend.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. And we would come up there sometimes on Saturdays. And Neil would like fucking put Rage Against the Machine on. I remember you put Cherub Rock on, It's one of my favourite all-time songs. Really, really loud and running around shooting people.
Where was that then? Because I remember the one in Basildon.
Mr. D's.
Mr. B's. It was upstairs at Mr. B's.
Course,
yeah. It's not Mr. B's anymore.
No.
But it was up there. Yeah, that was awesome. That was good times. Yeah, it was good times. Like a fantastic move that was. Yeah, I dropped out of art college and went to be a Quasar Marshal.
That's amazing.
My mum and dad loved that. So, this is what I'm doing with my life
you
now.
went to the tech for a while doing art.
Yeah,
because I remember a year when we went to Reading, and I remember you trying to get people to play kabaddi at the tech. I think I'd left then.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I'd left by then. But I was doing something. I think
you're probably doing good art or something. We were all sitting around playing kabaddi.
Is kabaddi Indian football?
It's like, if I remember rightly, it's like Indian tag, right? And you have to hold your breath and you have to run into the other team's half and try and not get tagged.
I've actually heard of this. Yeah, I have heard of it.
And you had to go kabaddi.
That's it,
to prove that you were holding your breath, you had to keep saying kabaddi. Yeah.
It's amazing. I haven't looked it up recently.
Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah. And then and then I think that summer we went to Reading. That was the first year I went to Reading. And I remember like running around shouting out kabaddi.
Well, just on the off chance someone knew what it was.
I don't even think you went.
I went in 92 and 93 and probably 94.
I might have been, because I was with like Benny and Matt and Jim.
The group got big. I remember going, the first year I went, there was like 4 of us. It was like me and Jim. And then the second year, me and Jim and Alan Fraser, I think. And then the second year, there was a few more. And the third year, there was a lot of people. There was about a group of about 20 of us.
Oh,
we'd all made friends and stuff.
I'm sure I've seen you already, though, because I've been really fucking...
Have you seen the lineup? Everyone's in arms, up in arms about it.
Again.
I did see some Twitter storm about who the fuck are these people.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know what to make of that.
Now, though.
Yeah.
Like, I've been the last 5 years. And it's like that every year. I don't know who's playing. I just walk around.
You always find something good.
Yeah.
I don't know why people moan about it. That's what a festival is. You're supposed to, I love it when you come home from a festival and you're like scrolling through trying to find who you heard and who you listened to. Is what it's about.
No, I used to. I don't go to festivals anymore. I think, but I used to. I was always off wandering around on my own a lot. Because I just would see something and go like, I'll just go and wander. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah,
before I know it, all my mates have gone somewhere else.
Yeah,
I think
find them in the crowd later on.
But what I will say is that's something that I've always kind of liked about you is that you've always kind of done your own thing.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that.
And you would kind of wander off, and it was like, and you were doing your own thing.
I used to get me in a lot of trouble.
Need to join in, because I used to go to because like if Stuart was in serious problem, basically if he went somewhere, more often than not I'd go as well. So I would be around all the time.
I used to get in a lot of trouble with Stuart because like it would be like sound check or something, and it would be right bass player, and they're like, "Where is he?" And half an hour before I'd wandered off, and they'd find me like playing pinball in a pub down the road or something.
Yeah, Dennis used to do the same as well.
Yeah, we both used to be a bit naughty. We did used to both whine purposefully to try and wind Stuart up. I know we did. Like we shouldn't have.
Be like, we take fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like we're playing this gig and this could happen, and like you need someone to drive it. Yeah. And but I remember him getting like arsehole about it. It's like, why does no one care as much as I care?
But I think we all did care, and we all worked really, really hard. But it was really funny. It was really funny. Like, yeah.
So then, can I ask then? So the last, and I think by most accounts, the last Serious Problem gig will probably be the last because it was really good. It went amazingly well, and there was quite a lot of people there. And Stuart has kind of said since that if you couldn't replicate that, then it's just not worth doing. That was a really good bow out. So we were kind of talking about it beforehand, but so what happened? So how come you didn't want to do it then?
I can't pinpoint when it started, but at some point I started getting sick before going on stage. Really like bad stomach, like cramps, effectively, and horrible anxiety, awful anxiety about going on stage. And when we were talking about coming on here, I was watching some videos of myself, like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, on stage going, I can't believe I used to do that.
Yeah, you were like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like literally standing up, I don't give a shit. Like, I couldn't have given monkeys.
You used to have like no top on and like a big cock drawn on your chest, but you did look like you were like,
Yeah, I know,
Fucking,
but it was kind of
moment.
you're kind of a bit like Armour though. So you stand up and it's like it's not really you. You know, you stand up and you put on like a character, or you become like a person, and it's like a stage act. And it was with Serious Problem, it was like a stage act.
They're big characters, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think most people, a lot of people though, would say that they use that as a mechanism of coping. It's like you put it on that day.
But then when I sort of got a bit older, I think when I came back and started doing music again, and it changed a little bit, and it spread out into other parts of my life as well. Like I used to do for work and things. I used to have to speak in front of people and stuff like that, and I started not being able to do that. I remember walking across. I had to go and do. It was just like a presentation thing about some computer thing, right? Just a work thing about computers. And I remember going across town and having to stop and being sick in a bin and having to call the guy up and say I couldn't do it and having to go back and then try and do it another time and having a really bad time on the way and getting really stressed out about it and wound up. And I don't know why. And I like to say, I'm here today.
It's anxiety.
Not really, you know what I mean? Not really feeling great about, I'm all right, you know, it's you. So I can sit and have a chat, but my stomach's awful right now. And driving over here wasn't great.
Can you pinpoint like anything that changed for you?
I was thinking about that this week. I was thinking about what I was going to say.
And you haven't got to talk about anything that you don't want.
No, I think balls to the wall, just talk about whatever, doesn't that, right? But I think I actually made a decision in my head not to do it anymore.
Right.
Before I stopped doing it.
That's interesting.
Right. I made it, and I don't know why. I made a decision. I got to a point where I was like, we're no good. We're not good enough to do this anymore. This isn't good. I'm not good enough to stand up in front of people. And almost like, what would they call it? Imposter syndrome or whatever?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah. But genuinely believing that I wasn't good enough. Genuinely believing that with Serious Problem, it was like I was genuinely going, we're not good enough to do this. I'm not good enough to stand up and do this. This isn't good enough. This is
Problem
awful.
is that when you kind of like, you work really hard and you really go for it and then you realise you're a year down the line and you've had all these opportunities and nothing's really happened.
What are you talking about now with...
No, I mean with bands. It's like you can get to that point when you think, oh, we've really tried hard. We've had opportunities. Nothing's happened. We're obviously not going to fucking do it.
I think bands run their course.
See how that cracks in. Yeah, I think bands run their course.
I think they run their course.
Yeah,
I think every band I've been in has run its logical course, and it comes to a point where I think you can't take it any further doing what you're doing, and you have to either change what you're doing drastically, or just you may as well stop.
Yeah,
or you just keep churning out the same.
Sometimes like a fresh bit of inspiration from just playing with different people or different instruments. Or.
But do you think it was that was making you feel anxious?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like I say, it just all started around about the same time, and I can't. And I've chosen now not to do it. Like, I don't play anymore. I don't really want to go through that. I don't want to put myself through that.
But has that impacted on like work since?
Not really.
No.
Not really. I remember sitting there thinking, like, you go to one of the, like a room and there'll be 200 people watching one person speak, and there's 200 people in that room who are perfectly happy being the person who's not speaking.
Yeah.
They're perfectly happy listening.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be the person up there speaking. And I did a lot of thinking about it, and it's like,
Very true.
yeah, like you go to watch a band,
Yep.
and there'll be 1,000 people all watching a band, getting on with their lives and enjoying themselves, not thinking, I really want to be that person up there.
Yeah.
And
that's my wife.
Well, yeah, and I made a decision that I wanted to be one of those people who doesn't want to be on the stage.
Do you know what? I wish I could fucking do that.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do that.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
When I go to a gig, like, I look at what they're playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And I'm like, and I just want it to be me. Yeah. And in fairness, I don't go to as many gigs now just because of that. Because I'm like, fucking, I could do it.
No, well, I still like. It creeps in. Like, I still catch myself doing it. Like, I've had to make a conscious effort to put those thoughts away, because I don't think they're healthy for me. I think they're the reason I've wasted a lot of time in my life. In all honesty, I think being in bands, I was only ever in bands because I wanted to be on stage.
Yeah.
Right. And I wanted people to be clapping or whatever and saying you're great, and you're just doing it for validation.
Yeah.
Right? Ultimately, that's what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
And I sort of made a decision that I'm going to try and find that just for myself.
That's
I
amazing.
think.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I not something I've talked about with people before at all. But
Oh, I like that though.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Though? I think there's something really big in what you said there. It's about. I talk about it quite a bit about. Don't look for other people to make you feel better or happy like that, and that is a fool's quest, because that doesn't exist, in love or anything really. Essentially, like, happiness has to come from within, and changing things and like kind of doing that as self-searching. I love that, I do. And the thing is, I'm not like that, but I've had to really check myself on that recently. Because the podcast's doing well, I better fuck off work, and I'm
no, but like,
and then you're like, no. But then there's another bit of me. So there's the healthy bit of me that goes, no, stop looking for outside validation. It's not going to make you feel bad. But then there's another bit of me that goes, but you never know. So what I try and do is balance the two.
Balance
now.
is key.
I try and keep everything calm and relaxed, but keep if you don't try, you don't know.
There is
everything's worth a try, but and I think having a family kind of does that, because it's like, well, I can't just throw myself into that because I've got to fucking look after my family. It keeps me balanced. But yeah, I totally get that.
There's something quite nice in the thought.
I think that's a very true thing you said there.
It's kind of like simplifying your life as well. It must be like, I've done things where I've been doing things for a little while, and then they've come to a stop, and you kind of wake up the next day and think, I haven't got to worry. I haven't got to go and do that thing now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big chunk that I can just go, right, fuck off. Right, I can concentrate on other things. It can be quite lightening, like shedding off the onion layers kind of thing of stuff.
But also, I'm thinking, if there's something that makes you feel bad, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fucking do it.
Yeah, but that's
it's
it.
kind of like, it's simple terms, but like, why wouldn't you?
Like, a lot of people will say, like, if you're, like I say, it's clearly an anxiety thing, and a lot of people will say, well, you need to work through it, and it's like, well, no, do I?
No, you don't have to.
I don't feel like I do.
That all just depends on how much it impacts on your daily life.
Well, no, it doesn't.
And if
because
it don't impact on your daily life, and it's not.
Yeah, if every
problem,
day you were waking up and going, oh fucking hell, I'm not a rock star anymore. Like, fuck you, fuck everything. Then that is affecting your daily life.
If it's making you ill every day, but if it's not, then like sometimes you think, I will push myself because that's worth it.
Yeah.
And then you do it.
Yeah.
So do you not play at all? Have you got like any instruments at home?
I play at home.
Yeah.
But, occasionally I pick up a banjo or a ukulele or something.
That will be the last time I saw you.
What was
What's
it?
that?
We did a gig together.
Yeah, you were really good. You were really good.
That was my band. That was all my songs.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah, no, you were really good. And you
was
had like a 12-year-old on the drums, if I remember
my
right.
nephew.
Yeah, it was someone who was very young. Something. It was
My nephew was 18.
You were really good, yeah. And
Amazing.
it was in Basildon, wasn't it? It was one of.
We played the Edge in Basildon, and you played with Gel, and like Jim. I know Jim come down.
Jim probably come down. Carl was so that was right. We played.
We Are Seven.
Yeah, We Are Seven.
Nice.
So there was a band before We Are Seven. There was a band called The Flavors, which was the last time I actually played out and was able to play out and stand at the front and do everything. And that stopped, like, ran its course. And then Joe was like, I was writing some songs again, and we were just playing on ukuleles. And so I tried to do that with them, and I really found it difficult. I tried my best to get up and do it, and it was horrible.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I remember sitting around having conversations with them, like absolutely loving going around and playing with them. We would record stuff, we'd make little videos, and it was great.
The videos
but
great.
I didn't the standing up and playing and singing in front of people anymore. I just couldn't do it. And I had a conversation. I was like, can we get someone else to do this?
Wow.
Like, I love doing it, but can we not get someone else?
He's quite talented, Joe, on the quiet as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Have you seen some of his spoken word stuff
Yeah,
he's doing?
it's
I'll say it's
amazing.
poetry. It is poetry.
I've asked it. I did. I think, but he has a little bit of the same, because we're doing a live one in Colchester next Thursday, and Gel's going to come down because he lives up that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do you want to do your thing?"
Yeah, he's like, I absolutely love him to bits. He's one of the funniest people, like the most quick-witted people I know.
Yeah, I've got some stuff for him.
He's always like, literally, if you stick him on a stage in front of people and put a microphone in his hand, whatever comes out of his mouth will be funny, and he will just be putting people down. It's amazing, and I don't think he sees it.
No, but the thing is, he's not. In many ways, I don't think he. I think. Oh, I don't know. I don't think we should be talking about him in this way, but just because I don't think it's fair.
No, it's fine.
I think in many ways there's so much more to gel than that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
And
I know
you will feel the same.
Yeah, I do.
But
I do
like
genuinely.
when you know Gel well, and I know you did because you lived with him, so you would have seen. But like, there's a real depth to Gel,
and
that's why I like the
for
new
years.
stuff he's doing because there's more depth to it, and and I think like those kind of clashes just do his head in. But it's a lot more depth. So anyway,
yes.
So we had, I hadn't seen you for ages, and then I think you'd messaged me to say, I've been listening, and so we chatted about that for a bit, which I was really, really pleased about, and then I put on a post about I kind of come to the conclusion I've got ADHD, and then you said, I think I have.
Wow.
I privately messaged you.
Oh, should I not say that?
No, it's all right. Yeah, no, it's just like I said, we'll talk about it, but it's not.
Oh, it was a private message.
It was a private message because it's not something that I've ever actually talked about.
But I did say before you came, we'd probably talk about.
Yeah, and I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
It's okay to mention it, but but the point being that I messaged you privately, and I looked back through the chat because you said,
"Come and talk about it."
Yeah, you said, "John, come talk about it." And I was like, well, if you can't get Russell Brand, Neil Pye, fine. But yeah, it's difficult for me to talk about it because I'm not an expert in it.
Was it interesting for you to see?
I'm not an expert though, although I have spent hours on YouTube.
Well, that's the thing, because it's new for you, isn't it?
See, for me, it's something that I came across it about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago, and probably did exactly the same thing as you, and read loads of stuff about it and went, you know, this is me.
Yeah.
This is the reason I've got all these problems, right? And at the time I picked up on it and I mentioned it to a few people, and every single person I mentioned it to was like, no, you haven't, mate. Shut up. And I was like, what? And they were like, no, I feel exactly like that. No, it's just normal. Shut up. You haven't got a problem.
Wow.
And after that, I was like, okay, all right.
Really?
I'm not going to talk about this anymore. That's fine. I'll just get.
Fucking response.
Well, yeah, but
I do know, like, that is probably a fairly normal response.
It's a fairly normal response that people will make, because when you look at what the symptoms of ADHD are, it is the sort of thing that most people may well experience in part at some point or other.
Yeah.
It's not unnormal stuff. It's like, I wake up, I feel a bit disorganised today.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't never find my keys, you know?
Like, I kind of notice through work, it's quite often that, like, I worked through a period when there were loads of, like, teenagers being diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah.
And invariably they were like the live wires.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I was thinking, well, that can't be me because I'm pretty fucking relaxed.
Yeah, but that's not it, though, is it?
But that's the other part of it, is that they say the other type. So you get your kind of haywire, crazy off the wall, can't sit still, and then you get your daydreamer. And the daydreamer, I was like, oh.
Like live inside your own head completely. Yeah.
And that is when I was like, like, that will make sense. And just generally, and then starting to think about learning and that kind of thing. And like my approach to education generally, it all just kind of clicked into place for me.
I mean, I think you can take it a bit too far. Like I decided not to try and get diagnosed.
I tried.
Did you try?
Yeah.
They weren't interested. No. I decided not to. I went to the doctor to talk about it, and the doctor just sort of looked at me again with a really kind of look on his face, and at the time I was going through a lot at the time anyway. I went through a bit of a very bad patch.
What in terms of?
In terms of mental health, like really bad. I had a little bit of a breakdown.
I've had breakdowns.
Yeah,
so
I've had a little bit
you're
of
in
breakdown.
company.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we've
fine
all
with
had
that.
breakdowns.
Yeah, about that.
And so it was about. Yeah. I had a breakdown, and that's the only way I can describe it.
You know if you've had one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
You totally
But
know.
like on the very verge of going mad.
Yeah.
Right, on the very verge of going mad, and I was at the time, I was using too many drugs or whatever, not hard drugs, but soft drugs. And I went to my doctor and I was like, look, I want to pack all this up. I want to sort my shit out, and I'm really concerned that this is all going to be a problem. And the doctor sent me to Daybreak, which seemed a bit strange.
Yeah, Daybreak.
For like heroin addicts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I.
Do you know why I did that though? I know why I did that.
Go on.
Because essentially, it's very, very hard to diagnose an underlying issue if you say, I take drugs.
Yeah.
Because then you're dual diagnosis. This is what they call it. And basically, they don't want you in the health system because you can't be formally diagnosed all the time. You're saying, I'm a drug user. Even if it's just like, I smoke weed. They'll go, right, dual diagnosis, go to the drug services, which is Daybreak in Southend.
It was in Pitsea.
Okay.
It was just down the road from me. And so I probably shouldn't have been there, but I think at the time, talking to a counsellor once a week was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
And so I sort of like took it with open arms and just
that's good.
let everything come out, and was going through everything with this guy and just trying to work out how I got to where I was and what was going on in my head. And at that point, I started to believe things that maybe weren't true. And it sounds silly talking about it, but I did start to believe some really weird things. And the counsellor said to me, don't tell anyone. And I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah, and his exact words, and I remember it this way, he goes, all these things you're seeing, all these things you're thinking, don't worry about it. Your brain's just never had to cope without being on drugs or whatever for your entire
There's
life.
an element that is quite true though.
Right? Yeah. And he was, and I think that's probably good advice, because
Who would you talk to?
I don't know, but I went in to see him and I said, look, I'm seeing things. Like, and I genuinely I was believing some really silly things, like I had superpowers and all kind of things. And I had some friends at the time that kind of encouraged that in a way which might not have been healthy. And I had some friends who didn't. And I had some friends who went, no, you're going nuts. You got your book where you're just writing and just drawing stuff, and you're going mad. And the guy was like, just give it a couple of weeks.
At least you know that you had someone that you could go to with everything in the counsellor kind of thing.
Yeah, no,
and it's an unbiased, unbalanced kind of.
So weirdly, it's kind of weird because
I know they're not. No, from listening to your podcast, I know they're not supposed to do that, are they?
Not
really.
No, you shouldn't have it. But then if he's saying actually, you just need, like, your head's not very clear at the moment. You need to be a bit clean, and then actually your head might be a bit clearer. And if you talk about it now, you might push people away.
It's actually a smart way.
You can see some sense.
Yeah,
it's pretty smart.
Yeah. And so after, like I said, a few sessions with them, and I sort of, I had it was a really bad time before that. Went to the doctors, went to see the guy, and I got in some work, and after that, at that point is when I sort of found out about ADHD and what it is, and read for it, and was literally, that's me.
Yeah.
And the reaction I got from everybody was really strange. There was a massive stigma. It felt like there was an absolute, almost as if you were making stuff up and trying to make excuses for yourself for all the problems you've had all your life. Why you've never been able to stay in one place.
Like friends and family.
Not so much my family. My family were amazingly supportive. Now I look back, absolutely fantastic. Most of my friends would say, you don't have a mental health problem. And to be honest with you, I mean,
these people.
And I would probably be inclined to agree though, because but what have you said, speaking to you about me, is like, you've always had your shit together.
Yeah, I think
I know, and I totally see what you're saying, but I think what happens is that sometimes it's the stigma that people are like, I don't want to get involved in that shit, And then sometimes there's a bit like you're holding a mirror up to people, and they're like, "But I have that." Oh shit! What's wrong with me?
Well, no, well, maybe that's what it is, but it does. The way it sort of comes back is, no, I get that. All you got to do is this. Yeah. And it's like, oh, really? Is that all I got to do?
That's what men do. Isn't it?
Yeah, and
try and
and
fix.
so so I stopped talking about it and just started applying some like techniques or whatever and things and trying to just get on top of it so that it didn't cause me problems anymore.
See, that's why I never talked about it. Like, you think all the years we've known each other, I've never talked about being depressive. But when
I've had terrible times. Yeah. Since I can remember suffering from depression, probably when I was 7 or 8.
Yeah, I
as a child. Yeah,
I put it back to about 9.
Yeah. And I put I remember on Mental Health Day, I think I put a post on Facebook, and my wife sort of looked at it and looked at me and went, "That's a load of rubbish." And I was like, "Honestly, love, because I love her to pieces. We love each other, and she's amazingly supportive as well." But I put a post about isolation, and particularly when you look into it with things like ADHD, you experience a complete lack of connection with people. A complete lack of connection. And I've never understood, and that was one of the things that stuck with me. I was like, I've always felt completely on my own. Even when I'm with friends, when I'm with family, I've never felt anything other than alone, ever.
Neil,
and that's really, really, like, I'm getting there, right? 10 years now, I've been, and...
But I don't know, you say that, and I'm kind of smiling, because it's like, I was the same, or I am the same. And for me, hearing someone else say that, it's like loads of medicine to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about how hard it is to sit at work and do a task and stuff like that, but that, to me, that's not really a problem. Like, the way your brain works...
I really struggle with things like that.
Yeah, I absolutely, completely. But the way your brain works, if you take all the good stuff that comes along with it, it far outweighs the bad stuff. It's just that you can't sit in an office.
Yeah. You've got to find how you can make it work for you.
Yeah.
And if you do, then you're fucking golden.
10 years ago, I quit my job. I'm self-employed. So now, when I'm ready to work, I work.
Yeah.
Like, what's absolutely ridiculous to me is that in a normal working environment, we expect people to get to work at 9 o'clock and sit in front of a computer for 8 hours and work and then stop. And that's how you get people to be productive.
Isn't it better just to go, like, you might only work really well for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
But in those 2 hours a day, like, say, since I've been going, I'm a fucking artist.
Yeah.
So in those 2 hours when I do art, I'm like, bash. Like, I'll fucking churn it out. And I'm like, so that's how I should be working, because that's what works. The rest
if that's
of the
what works,
time, I'm floating around and I'm like, I can't sit still for a minute, and I'm like, I might have a fag, I might have coffee, or
walking round and round in circles and backwards and forwards, and no, exactly. Like I work really well. It takes me about 4 to 5 hours to actually start working, which is awful. Like I will make a decision to work, and it will take me a long time to actually start working. And then as soon as I start, I've probably worked for 6 to 8 hours without stopping.
So do you work from home?
I work from home.
I kind of got the impression you work from home.
Yeah, I work from home. I've had offices, but generally working from home's the best, because I can work at night. I can work when I'm able, not when I feel ready to work, but when I'm able to work.
When you're kind of like inspired to work.
It's difficult. Like I say, I've got I've got one guy who works for me now, and it's the same thing. It's like, you just work whenever you want to work. Whenever you're feeling like you can sit down and be productive, sit down and be productive. And then when you can't be productive anymore,
I'll pay you if you produce.
Well, yeah, and a lot of technical companies work like that now.
Yeah,
and I think, there's probably a little bit of I could be a bit cynical and a bit skeptical that they're actually trying to get people to work more hours by saying you don't have to work a set amount of hours. So by that, so I don't say that, like the guys that work for me, it's like, you work this many hours and I pay you for that many hours. But when you work, I don't care. I really don't care. You get up, if you want to take the day off because you don't feel well, you do that. Yeah, and it's one of the best things. Like I can get up on a Tuesday, and I've had like the last couple of weeks have been quite. My brain's been all over the place, and my missus has been like, "What on earth have you? What's going on with you?" I'm like, I don't know, and but I just have to take a day off, and you can like because you're your own boss, so you just go.
Yeah, I think that's what I need to do, something like that, because I'm like some days like I'm no good fucking anything, and like, sometimes that's a week.
Yeah, can be. Yeah, like there'll be months. Like I say, I work for myself, so there's no one cracking the whip or anything and getting me to work. So I have to do stuff to make sure I get the work done when the work needs to be done. Because sometimes the work just needs to be done.
Sometimes you need the heat as well, though, don't you? Otherwise,
if
you haven't got the heat, then it don't happen.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The heat is money.
But something you said like a couple of weeks ago when I was listening, you said like you're the guy who, when the shit really hits the fan, sorts it out and gets it done, and that's part of having ADHD effectively, is that in a situation where it's all going off and everything is kicking off, you're the person who's in the middle of it, sorting everything out, is completely in control of everything, and that's one of the good things about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's amazing that like the first sort of jobs that I've ever been good at have always been those ones where there's so much going on, like absolutely so much going on, and you're the person in the middle of it all, sorting it all out. And then as soon as you like move out of that into something that requires preparation or planning or, you know, delegation, stuff like that, it really becomes difficult. Yeah. And it's quite strange.
And all the avoidance comes in.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm ill now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
But that's the problem, is because you're in a job and you're doing well in a job, and the people that are your superiors or your line managers are like, we need to push this person forward. So they take you out of the job that you're good at and you excel at and put you somewhere where you're not comfortable.
And then you're like, oh, he's really shit now.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
And
he's gone off sick again.
Yeah.
Because he can't fucking do it like that.
And that's kind of I kind of got to that point about 10 years ago when I packed up working for an office. Yeah.
So, but it sounds like you've managed to kind of turn things to work for you. First few years were really, really good. The last couple of years I've not been so mindful, and I've not been doing the things I honestly know I should be doing in order to be able to function and be productive and stuff like that. See, that's it. Like I say, you need to be working on it every fucking day. I just see it like addiction. And I don't work on it every day. But I notice if I haven't worked on it for a few days, you know, like if I'm not like trying to stay on top of things, you know, not that it's a massive chore, but if I'm like,
it's like little things.
If I've let things go for a while and I'm like, fuck it. Yeah. Like I feel alright today, fuck it. And then like give it a week down the line and I'm like, I'm ill now.
I don't. I'm not sure. I do. If I don't stay on top of things, everything gets on top of me. If that makes sense. And when everything gets on top of me, I can't do anything. And so there's like lots of things I like with drinking or actually doing the stuff you're supposed to be doing and not procrastinating on it, not putting it off, not. Actually not taking 4 or 5 hours to actually get productive and being able to push a button and work is good, or do the things you need to do. It's difficult to get there, but you can get there.
We spoke about like the running and that. Does exercise help?
I find it does. Yeah, but then, I'll drink a bottle of whiskey at the weekend and won't feel like going out running. To be honest with it, like alcoholism is something that I've just been all over for a long time, and it's really strange. I don't know quite how to process it, because if I come off alcohol, and I regularly do for a month, I don't get anything done that month. My brain just kicks off and goes nuts, and I can't get anything done.
Wow.
Like I can't, and I don't understand. It gets really frustrating because you think, I've been drinking, I'm supposed to be being good, I should be achieving stuff.
Should be feeling better.
Yeah. And
I always found that when I used to drink every day, I'd have so I wouldn't drink for a day, or that really didn't really happen much. But when I kind of stopped drinking, I always thought, oh, I'm gonna feel so much better, but I didn't. I felt really fucking awful. But I think for me, the kind of the good thing about having a job and having the responsibilities are the things that stop me going, right, I'm not, so I can't drink. You know, like something that goes, you know, like having that kind of chaotic mind, I find it quite useful to have those kind of social constructs.
Like simple little limitations, I suppose.
Structure and that sort of thing.
They put, so I'm, everything's a routine for me. And if I'm kind of out of the routine, so even if like my wife goes, oh, should we go and watch some comedian on a Friday? I'm like, okay. Yeah, I love watching comedy. And I'll go there and I'll end up just getting fucking trashed. Like I'll sneak booze in and I'm like, just because I can't fucking deal with it. Yeah. Because it's out of what I normally do. And like, even if just seeing friends sometimes, like I've got into a routine of doing this so I can relax with it. But sometimes just seeing friends, it's like, I'm just coming up with excuses not to do it because actually I just want my routine. And I find that, so yeah, for years when I was really chaotic, I didn't get into the routine of work. I was almost willing them to sack me. But actually kind of work and routine sorts me out. Like getting up. Like if I didn't have to get up for work, I'd sleep till 3 o'clock. Well,
routine is the same. Like I have to get up. Like I do school run every day, so I have to get out of bed.
That's right? The thing. Kids though, they really sort you out with that. Yeah. Like I found that if I didn't get up and I stayed in bed, like I do have periods when I'm not like mentally well, and like I might not get up, and I might not get up till 3 o'clock for a week, and I've got to sleep for fucking 15 hours a day. But usually after like a bit, I'm like, oh, I'm being a cunt. Like my wife's doing it, or I've got to get up. And like you take your kid to school, and it starts the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But it's like that's like doing it. It's good. Like we have bad times in our house in the holidays because like everything goes and the routine goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do as well though.
Like and. I have, like I say, my routine is good. I live on, live on lists, literally on a list for everything.
They're really helpful, even for like mental health, like everything.
Yeah.
It's just.
See, I find lists overwhelming.
Oh, I love lists. I
can't. It doesn't have to be a massive list. Just put one thing on it.
No, I find any kind that's quite overwhelming. I can't bear it.
No, I love it. I love a list.
They might be nice.
I love a list because I don't have to. I don't have to remember anything, which is good because I'm extremely forgetful. It's like I've got really good memory, long term, but sinking stuff in and not having it go in one ear and out the other is really difficult. So having an app on my phone, literally all I have to remember to do is look at that. And it's little stuff. I know it sounds really neutral, but people will be like, well, you've got to have a to do to empty the dishwasher. Which because otherwise it doesn't happen. And then before I know it, everything's packed up like that, and then the washing's like that, and then the house is like that, and then work's like that, and I'm snowed under with everything again just because I haven't done that one thing.
Yeah, you have to. But I think the thing is in life, and which I think like those really simple things about you introduce a bit of structure, like you remind yourself of shit, like that actually makes life a hell of a lot easier.
For me, there's so much to remember. I was forgetting stuff. Everyone wanted something from me. It's like, I need to remember this, need to remember that. We've got an app called Wonderlist, and it's a shared list.
I've
whatever Kate puts in it is on my list, and everything else. You can set up loads of different lists.
I've swapped away from that now, though. It's been taken over by Microsoft.
Oh right, yeah, cool. Yeah, 365,
something like that. I don't know. So
they're all good. Even like because we've got shared notes, and that really helps, isn't it? But it's just there's that little bit of accountability with it. When someone else is kind of looking at it.
Oh, I don't ever share it with anyone else.
No,
it's my own little thing.
See, for me, I have to be accountable, otherwise I just won't do it.
No, I don't. Accountability is it doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit. Like literally, whatever.
Yeah.
If what you said. No, I haven't done it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, it's none of your fucking business anyway.
Nah.
It's probably quite arrogant. It probably does sound quite arrogant, but
no. But the thing is, though, I think the idea is to go, I'm like that, so we won't do that. Yeah. We'll do that instead.
It's working out what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, I think you have to work out what you want to. I think you have to work out what it is you want to achieve. I mean, it's really difficult because you have to work out what you want to achieve. Because I think as we get older, we all start to think like we're not achieving as much maybe as we would want to achieve or would like to achieve or have achieved, you know.
Doing this.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? But what you've got here is actually quite a nice setup because there's two of you. So you hold it, you do...
kind of pull each other along.
You pull each other along, yeah? And maybe if you didn't feel like doing it one week, well, you've got to because Brad's here, right? And then you keep doing it week after week and that builds and you create something that's actually really good. And through my life, like for the last, since I started really trying to work on it, I've tried to, in the past, make time every week to make sure just to let myself work on whatever it is I want to work on. Because that's what I like doing. I like creating things for me. So I spend my entire life, my job, building things for other people, right? And so I spend a little bit of time every week just building something, working on something that's just for me.
That's really important. That's really
exactly
important.
what we do.
It's not actually easy to do, but it's really, really important.
But finding that time, though,
but it's really hard.
Carving out that space, you know?
And I often say, like I say to Brad all the time, it's like when your kids are really young, like you just have to accept that's probably not going to fucking happen.
It's quite nice how you put it.
It's like
you say it's like
deck.
just a mad time. It's like whirlwind, isn't it? And it's my license to just do whatever the fuck's going on just to get through the day kind of thing.
But then after a while, that kind of starts to get a bit easier. And you are like, hold on, what about me? Like, I'm just doing shit I'm not all that happy doing. I need to start fucking introducing things I like doing a little bit more. It's called engaging with your values.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I think something I read once that made a lot of sense to me and I'm still working on is that you need 3 hobbies. And I don't know if you've heard about it, right? But it's basically you need 3 hobbies, right? And one of those hobbies needs to earn you money. And one of those hobbies needs to keep you fit. And the other one just needs to keep you happy. Just 3 things to find 3 things to do.
I really like that.
3 things.
That's true. You know, the other week I was talking about finding your thing,
I listened to that today.
That's a well fast hour. That's ridiculous.
Well, let's keep going.
You used the words for it, didn't you?
Yeah, finding your...
I only listened to it in the car on the way over here and I can't remember.
I must have listened to it.
But essentially, it's like if you can find a hobby that earns you money, then you're pretty sorted. Yeah. That's a really good thing in life, isn't it? Like,
so I'm alright with that. Like I say, I love what I do to earn money.
What do you do? Do you do web design?
No, I'm a programmer.
Computers.
I'm a programmer. So I write software and spend all day looking at code, but it's great. I love it because you're just in your head looking at stuff and staring at stuff and working everything out in your head all day long and just staring at it. But I do it for other people, so they pay me to do it. That's where I earn my living. And then the stuff I do for myself, like maybe earns a bit of money. Some of it, we're quite lucky. Like some of it people buy, and so that earns money. But usually,
what is programming? I don't even know what it is.
You don't even know?
No, I've heard people use the term.
Okay,
so making things.
It's making things in your head. So you write. So say you've got an app on your phone, right? Well, there's a computer program that say when you click that button makes it go off and do something. So I write computer programs that make those things happen.
It's fascinating. I've dabbled. It's a fine art. I love it.
It's awesome. Like it's the best thing. I enjoy doing it. I would do it all day long. That's one of the things. Again, going back to what we were talking about with the ADHD, if you find that thing, which is probably similar to you with painting, you can sit there and you don't even know what time it is, and you won't even know. Like the burglar alarm could go off, or the fire alarm, or people would talk to you, and you don't even know they're talking to you. You can't hear anything. It takes you like 5 minutes to respond because you're just in that area.
It is the zone.
And the element.
That's it.
The element.
Inner element.
So I totally get that with like artwork, because say some nights like I'll draw something or I'll paint something, and then I can't really. Then it takes me ages to get to sleep because all I'm thinking about, I want to do that. Then the next day, all I'm thinking about is what I'm going to do on it next.
Yeah.
And and then once I start, I'm like gone.
Yeah.
And then it all just comes.
Well, that's the problem. Isn't it?
Like, I don't really think about it.
The problem can be with planning, and the problem can be with starting things. But once you're actually moving in a direction, you don't stop.
I have spurts where there'll be weeks when I'm like, I won't draw at all, and I've learnt not to kind of force things. So like the weeks when it's just not coming, like, I'll waste a few pages. And I'm like, hate wasting pages. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. And then I'll have a month when I can't stop.
Yeah.
And it's just coming, and it's not forced at all. Have you? So for me, when we kind of found out my son had autism, and when we had the conversation with Eddie. And he was like, have you got ADHD? Because I've got ADHD. And I'm like, that makes sense. And then like the conversation came up, and then it was like, my son's got autism. And he was like, are you sure you haven't got ADHD?
Yeah.
And then and then like going back and looking into it more, I'm like, my son's. There's a lot of me in there.
Yeah, I could totally hear that.
Yeah. And I really notice it now, like my son's obsessions and things. And then I think back to me, and I used to have obsessions about things, not to his extent, but I really saw it in him. It was like, I fucking see where that all comes from. Like, totally see it. And now I'm like going, like my son gets obsessed with like computer games. He doesn't really play them.
Yeah.
He plays them a bit, but not a lot. But he spends most of his time watching other people play on YouTube.
Yeah. All the kids, a lot of kids do that.
It's safe, isn't it? It's safe, isn't it? And then I'll go, we'll get you the game, and he'll play it for a bit. And then when it gets tough, he can't deal with it. He'll have a breakdown. He's crying his eyes out.
Yeah.
It's horrible. So I'm like, don't worry, let's just watch it.
Yeah.
And then the other day I was saying to him, you love all this shit, don't you? I didn't say shit, but
He was like, fucking hell, Dad, you better be right.
I was like, you love all this shit. And I was like,
how old is he?
He's 9.
Oh, I was going to digress there for a second, but go on, carry on.
But then I was like, why don't you just, what would happen if you managed to get into something as much as you are into Sonic, if you were that into something that could be your life and your inspiration, and you could have a job in it. Like now he wants to be a YouTuber, but I'm like, no, but like if you were able to harness what your knowledge, into an area, but then you're like, but I didn't want to say to him like to earn money.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be about that. I wanted it to be about him just getting into something that was a bit more.
Money could be a bit of a dirty word, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you think? It's like there's lots of. We all need to earn money.
Yeah.
But like because we're artists, we don't want to cheapen it by selling it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like you shouldn't be doing. We say you shouldn't be doing things for the money.
But there are practicalities to consider. That's the thing. So, and I think like my dad used to. I don't think my dad ever was all that impressed with me going to university and doing art, because I think he was like, well, the practicalities. And but the thing is, you think the practicalities are there. So is there not a way to do it to kind of meet it all? So I try not to kind of put practicalities onto Jude. Really, I'm like, no, just if it makes you happy, do what you like.
Yeah. No, he's all right. Graham's good. He's a good boy. I like him a lot, and I love him to pieces.
But he's intelligent though, isn't he?
He's
like
good. Yeah, he's
sharp.
good at maths.
Yeah.
Like sharp. We spotted that quite early on, when he was like 2 or 3. I remember talking about numbers with him. He was 2 or 3, and he got to the point where I explained negative numbers to him, and he was just like, "Yeah, all right." I was like, "Oh, you get that, do you?" He's like, "Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's like a line, right? And that's 0, right? And that goes that way, and they'll go that way. And then if for every number that goes that way, there's another one that goes that way. Yeah, I can do that, right?" And so we started doing like sums and stuff.
Jude's living like that.
No.
Oh no. Jude's like Jude's most of the time he just tells you he loves you and wants to give you a nice
Big cuddles, lots of cuddles and stuff. That's lovely.
And I kind of really like it.
That's lovely.
A lot. Well, there are a number of autistic kids who are quite the opposite.
I was going to say, I didn't know if it's the right question to ask, but I was going to ask you, like, okay, it's another thing that I wanted to talk about, or something that I find quite interesting.
Go on, carry on. We've got time.
Yeah, well, no, the buzzer went ages ago.
Oh, we can do an extra.
No, it's fine. When you're talking about like spectrum disorders,
yeah,
it's like there's 3 or 4 labels, right? And the question I wanted to ask you when you said he's got autism is like, what kind of autism has he got, right?
So I can tell you.
Yeah. I don't know what the word for it is, but like behaviourally, and you just told me, oh, he's the kind who likes to hug.
Yeah.
And like cuddles, right?
So what Jude's got is, they said to us, we don't diagnose Asperger's anymore, but he's got Asperger's.
Yeah.
But I have worked with kids with Asperger's, and they don't want to hug or anything.
Yeah.
And they're kind of quite angry. And there is that worry in me that Jude might become more like that, but at the moment there's no sign of that.
Yeah, no, I don't like being touched at all. It's not nice at all.
I gave you a big hug.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's okay. I'm okay with it, but I don't like it.
Generally.
I don't like people putting their hand on me. Like,
Sorry.
It's all right, don't worry.
You're okay, yeah. The hug was all right. It was okay, but it was a very manly hug. It wasn't too tight of an embrace. It was nice, but yeah, I don't like being touched at all. I've had people touch me, and I've had to complain to them and say, like, "Can you not touch me?" And they look at you like you're being really, really rude.
Though, is it? You think?
No, it's fair enough.
Like that's not unreasonable.
I was once. I was on the school run, and someone pinched my arse, right? And I was like, "Can you not do that? I don't want to be rude, but I keep my hands to myself, and I don't touch other people."
Was it a man or a woman?
It was a woman.
Pupil.
But she's a lovely woman. She was being extremely friendly, right? And she's a really nice person, and we get on really well. She's amazing.
She probably thought she was like trying to bridge the gap to be like.
But even other times, like I've been with people, and you just talk to them, they might just put a hand on your knee or a hand on your arm or something like that, and it's
NLP.
Awful. What's NLP? Oh, I know what NLP is, but how is that NLP?
Breaking down the barrier.
So, if someone
like your manager, is it like the manager who comes up and always puts?
They'll go, right, Neil.
I don't
and
think about it now.
This is a really important point, and I'm showing you I'm asserting my authority.
No, don't touch me.
But that's not unreasonable, is it? Because if you did that to a woman, that would be seen as a sexual advance.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. I really don't like. Like when you kind of see your mates, missus, and you're meant to give them a kiss.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I could do a hug.
I'll shake your hand.
But I feel weird. I prefer a hug to shaking hands because it's that power bit. Like I find the hug is like less powery.
Yeah.
But the kiss, I don't like kissing other women. I'll kiss my wife. I don't like kissing other women. I really hate it.
Yeah, I don't. I think I worked in London for a while when I was working in bars, and there was a lot of double cheek kissing everywhere you went. Hello, goodbye, and everything, and it was just horrible. I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
I don't
but you did get free drinks every bar you went into, so that kind of made up for it.
You know what though? And I have to say, the one thing that will sway me is free booze. Free booze will sway me all day long.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Was good. Yeah.
Well, I think we should leave it there.
You're all right. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, mate. It's been fascinating.
Neil, I've loved talking to you. It's been really great.
We should see each other more often.
It's been really, really lovely. As I say, I kind of like. I was telling Brad before you got here, like Brad is like basically he's a karaoke guitar man. And,
What's a karaoke? That sounds like a bit of an insult.
No, I don't mean it as an insult. I mean quite the opposite, really. But Brad can play loads of songs,
right.
And Brad was playing Beatles songs. And I was like, Neil got married in fucking Liverpool.
Yeah, the Beatles hotel.
Yeah.
Oh wow, really?
Good.
What
yeah.
hotel was it?
It was the Hard Day's Night Hotel.
Oh.
So we got married in the hotel.
Why is it called? Is that where they used to stay, or?
No, it's just like a theme hotel.
Oh, right, okay,
Basically, some company built it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And
I have
memorabilia everywhere.
I bet that's cool. Though. I'd love that.
I did. Yeah, it was, I mean our wedding was absolutely brilliant. Like the wedding day, the meal, and everything was fantastic. And then the reception was absolutely fucking horrible.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
I've seen the photos. The photos, like, because Joe went, didn't he? And Harrison. And
like everyone was really polite about it, and everyone was like, "No, it was fine, it was great," but it was like there was no food, and like the DJ played like the Macarena 5 times. And like it was just, and we didn't know anything was going on because we were like getting photos done, and you're off being roasted around and everything, and I come back down at about like 10 o'clock, and they were like, "There's not been any food," and we were like, "What?" And then so like they were like, "No, we brought the food out," and everyone was like, "No, no one's been fed."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like really bad. And like so, and then they got some bacon sandwiches, so everyone got bacon sandwiches at our wedding.
Shit.
Yeah, it was, and like I say, and then the DJ kept on playing the Macarena.
Beatles hotel.
Yeah.
Me and my wife went to Liverpool and did the Beatles tour and stayed
I'd
in
love
Adelphi.
to.
It's fucking brilliant. I loved it. I really,
the
really
Beatles
enjoyed
was
it.
good. Yeah,
I've done the Beatles tour in London. I'd recommend that. It's only a tenner. It's like a walking tour thing.
Oh, really?
Places. The lady holds up like the photos, and you can line up the buildings and kind of stand where they stood and stuff like that.
It's
Fascinating.
We did a cab ride once. It was only about 20 quid, and they take you around all the place, like all the houses in Liverpool. So they take you to like where Paul McCartney grew up and where Ringo Starr grew
I
up.
went to that.
Incredible.
And you can like see like where Ringo Starr, and it's like a terraced house, and then you go to where Paul McCartney grew up, and it's like a nice detached like suburb. You're like, right, okay, yeah, I see the difference there. And that was fascinating.
True,
And they take like strawberry fields. And all that
that's
good.
We went on the Magical Mystery Tour, and the bus, like it's like the coach is sprayed up like the Magical Mystery Tour, and we did all of those, and then you go to like Lipa, and it's fucking the bollocks. I recommend it to anyone.
I love all of that.
Really great. Plus, there's a lot of good tunes, isn't there?
Yeah.
No, Liverpool's great. Like going out in the I don't even know what the name of the road is anymore.
I didn't really go
In the
out.
Cavern Quarter. I can't remember the name.
Oh yeah, but they've got 2 really good guitar shops there.
Yeah.
So you got married in a hotel which is essentially Beatles themed, and the guy just kept playing the Macarena.
I know.
No, yeah, it was. No,
Why
I
didn't he- I would take all of the Beatles
I think
albums.
Bennett and Sean pissed him off.
Sean's a bit scary.
They were up. I think he basically was. He just put on a CD and went left, and then like, they were up on his decks, like putting songs on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think they wound him up. But
Bennett's
like,
a bit scary when he's got the arm.
But like everyone was really polite. Everyone said they all had a great time, and like the day was absolutely banging. Like the actual the getting up in the morning, the getting married, and the being a groom, and the having the meal and the making the speech and everything was absolutely lovely. Perfect.
That's good.
It was perfect, and I've got
Yeah, and the photos are good. The photos.
that was lovely. Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah, and we haven't been. We've been back a few times, but we're going back this year. We're going to Liverpool. For a Pokemon tournament.
No.
Yeah, I did notice that you go to quite a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, we do a lot of Pokemon.
And you know, like I was thinking, I could have seen that appliance in Neil's brain.
yeah.
So what, do you play yourself or is it kids?
Maybe your son's quite successful.
Yeah, he does all right. Yeah, he qualified for World Championships twice now.
Wow.
And we took him. We actually
Neil
took him to the
sounds
World
a bit
Championships
special.
last year. And he's working on qualifying again this year, but we're taking it a little bit easier. It got a bit silly last year. We got a bit competitive, and it stopped being.
I should imagine if it's going well, you'd want to kind of push
Yeah, but you could. It's very. I found it really easy to slip into being a competitive dad.
Right, yeah.
Do you see how when I was talking about like, does that rub off on your kid at all?
But we love it. No, we like. I started
It's a bonding thing, but
yeah,
at the
we have a
same
great time.
Like it meets both of your needs.
Yeah, we do all right. We I started, like I said, I carved out a bit of time now. I run a club on Friday nights, and so I made sure like every Friday night now. I spoke to my wife, I was like, "Can I do this?" And she was like, "Yeah, you go on. It's fine. Every Friday night, you're off and we go off, and we get loads of kids come in, and it's really good. We get a lot of kids on the spectrum come in, and they can handle it because it's
like the Pokemon creator
was he?
Yeah,
possibly.
Oh, that's fascinating.
No, he was autistic. I tell Jude all the time.
And he was he was really fascinated by bugs and insects apparently. And so if you look at a lot of the early designs of the early ones, they're all based on
bugs and stuff.
They're all based on actual like particular exotic bugs.
You see the new film, the Detective Pikachu film.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved every second of it. I'd watch it again. Like the audacity of how amazing it is.
After the World Championships, they put a showing on for free, basically in one of the rooms in the convention centre, and like it was basically you're at the Pokemon World Championships watching the Pokemon movie with just a room full of everyone who's just like bang into their Pokemon.
Yeah. I'm fascinated. Is it like obviously if you've seen it 3 times, it obviously is that good? Because I like Pokemon as a kid. It was good, yeah. And I remember watching the film and like Buddy liked it. I think it was still a 12. We haven't really let him watch the older films, but he still really liked like the action and the characters. A bit of it.
There were a few things that were a bit like. If you can imagine like a Star Wars person watching the Star Wars film going, that's not quite right. There were a couple of things that weren't quite right, but most of it was quite faithful.
Good, I'm pleased with that. I was hoping that. Because I did think, like, is this going to piss anyone off kind of thing?
No, my boy loved it.
I loved every second of it.
Pokemon.
The story arc and that, it's just so credit. To have Ryan Reynolds as the Pikachu is just nuts.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, why couldn't he recognise his dad's voice? And
and
then to start picking holes in everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Not really. No, I mean, not compared to however much you spend on guitars.
Yeah, but that's over like 20 years.
Yeah, no, it doesn't cost a lot of money. I mean, it's some card games are quite expensive, but Pokemon's not. Pokemon's quite cheap.
But tournaments, are they? Do you have to pay?
You have to pay. Some of the ones we're going to would be a tenner, £5. Okay. Bigger ones maybe about 30 quid, but you get like a load of stuff anyway. Like you get like all kinds of memorabilia and that goes. You get a goodie bag.
That's so cool. So you're playing with your own. I'm fascinated in that. So have you got like your own? Like, does everyone start with like the same cards, or do you go up with your own Pokemon you've already collected?
Okay, there is. Okay, right, so there is at any one point there is probably about, I'm saying probably about 1,000 cards that you can use, right? And every 3 months more cards come out, and then every year older cards can't be used.
Oh right, okay.
Right, and you pick the 60 cards that you want out of all of those, and then you take those and you sit down, and the other person will sit down. And you don't know what they've got. And you've got what you've got, and then you play all day.
That's so.
And good. It's good for like thinking, but it could be quite tiring, like because you play for like 10 hours. You sit there like play.
Is it kind of like top trumps, basically?
No,
I thought it's more like you have that much power, so I'll play that one because it's got more power.
It's more like that. It's going to sound. I'm not going to make it more grandiose than it actually is because it's a children's card game, right? Ultimately, but it is more like chess. It's more like sitting down and playing a game of chess against someone. Well, I do a move. What are you going to do? Oh, you do that. Right, okay. Right, I'll do this.
So I'm going to think 10 moves ahead.
And so you've got to start thinking ahead. And
that's really get the brain going, especially for the kids as well.
It's good for the kids. It's good, really good for the kids to stop and think. And it works like sequencing and strategy, but also reading, maths, and like socializing as well. Yeah, like you get like some kids might struggle socially, and they can sit down and it's a one-on-one situation all the time. Yeah, we get kids come like and they're perfectly comfortable with the concept and the how is he with rules?
Oh, he's brilliant with rules, but it's hard. He struggles to like if you go that's a rule. Yeah, he's like right, that's a rule.
Yeah, no, in the environment.
That's a rule.
Yeah, no, that's what Graham's like that. Right,
but then try to get to firstly take the rule on and understand okay. You might not, but like once there's a rule, he's like that's the rule now.
Because that's the whole thing about like with the game, it's completely governed by a set of rules, and so you sit down and everyone's playing to the same rules, so it's fair, and there are like judges who will make sure that the rules are being applied by. So
so it probably makes it easier when there's judges.
Yeah, there's always like judges and stuff like that. It's not like you're playing in the playground. It's no, I win because of whatever. It's really structured.
Well, that's what we think. Not where the find him something to get into.
Yeah.
He fucking loves Pikachu. Like, he's got a Pikachu teddy that he's had for like 10 years.
Yeah, me and Buddy sit and draw him and stuff like that. I think it'd be easy to get him into that.
He really likes Steven Universe, which I love.
What's Steven Universe?
Well, Steven Universe.
We just get Captain Underpants over and over.
That's so good. That film is amazing. It's so good.
He has like that, but Steven Universe is all about fluid sexuality. And that.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yes, and like people are like, you're not a person, you're a jewel or a gem, and the person who created it is transgender, so it all floats through it.
Ah.
It's quite interesting.
Is it on?
I mean, I don't fucking dig it. I think it's boring as shit.
What is it on Netflix, Amazon,
No, I don't know what it's on.
YouTube?
It's on fucking YouTube.
What's it called?
Steven Universe.
Oh, I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that.
Right.
I've brought a present for you.
Have you?
Wow, what?
Yeah. I need a little one. I need a little one. Yeah. No, it's not. Honestly, don't look excited.
We don't give any presents.
It's neither exciting
We
nor.
don't give any presents.
No, I bought your Pokemon card.
Oh my god!
yeah.
No, what the hell? Are you serious?
But I've got you the same one, right?
I like that.
Mate, that's broken me. I'm in bits.
I've got you the same one, so there's no fighting. But I didn't know what to bring. I wanted to bring one, and right, I don't know when you.
I'm gonna have it up here.
When you think about Pokemon, right?
I'm gonna have it up here though.
All the Pokemon have their own little thing. So there's like 800, 900 Pokemon. There's loads of Pokemon. Every single one's got its own little thing. And there's one of them called Psyduck.
Yeah,
right. And Psyduck has a headache all the time, and it's
They're in
really
something
fucking
as well.
bad. Yeah. No, they're in little things to keep them like that. So I got you. So Psyduck's got a mate, Slowpoke. Slowpoke is really chilled out. And I looked, I was like, these remind me of you two.
That is amazing.
I love that. I love that.
You can work out which ones you are.
Mate, that
They're
is
yours.
thank you so much.
And I just wrote it on the back as well.
Incredible.
I'm
Thank you.
Slowpoke.
That is so.
I'm the relaxed one. Oh, I love it.
I love that so much.
I love that loads, man.
That is incredible.
If you look to the back, look at the
Yeah,
back.
that's so good.
That's so cool.
Mate, thank you.
Is the camera
Now
on
let's,
over here? Look.
That is so good. You've absolutely made
Oh,
my year.
really?
I didn't even
Yeah.
get many gifts. I thought I have to come with something.
No,
That's
polite,
a lovely
right?
gift, man.
polite.
Thank you.
it's a gift.
So if you want to give them to your kids or whatever, or
No.
put them
No
on the
way,
wall.
I'm keeping this.
No.
No, I'm going to keep that.
That
I
is
want to
so
have that
cool.
near me here.
Mate, thank you so much for
I
coming.
want to
and
make
thanks
a
for
little
that as
thing
well.
to put.
I could keep.
I
No,
want
I'm
to
going
have
to
it
take
near
it
me
home.
here. So I can look at it.
We just blue
regular.
tack them up normally.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Job done.
Oh, thank you.
That's
all right.
amazing. I'm going to have difficulty not hugging you now.
That's all right.
For
No,
that.
we could do.
I'll
We
do
could do
it,
hug.
I'll do
I'm there. I'm through.
We need to get a picture.
Prove the
Yes,
hug
we
barrier.
need to get a photo.
Right. Let's go. Let's say goodbye, everybody.
I thought we'd already done that.
No,
No. I think we should do the extra as for our Patreons.
that's a really good shout. And if you're not a patron, you should be. So
Yeah.
you can. Well, they wouldn't be here.
I know they won't hear it.
But if
Anyway,
you are a
Patreons, I hope
How
you
much is
enjoy
a
that
Patreon? How much
chat
is a
about
Patreon? If I wanted to be a patron,
Anything.
yeah,
50p.
oh,
I
really?
think or a dollar.
It would-
I think yeah.
No, we didn't cap it. We haven't put stages because I just think I just don't want to rinse anyone.
No.
It's just like if you want to help, then help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Right. Thank you,
Thank you,
Neil.
amazing people. Thanks, Neil.
Thank
mate.
you for
Really
coming.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no, thank you for having me.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having me.
Much
It's been
love.
amazing, and I bet it ain't been as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's been lovely. It's been absolutely
actually
lovely to see you,
think
but it's like
about
you say, I could sit here for another hour and a half, 2 hours talking.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Brilliant.
it's good night from me, Nicholas Noyes. Good night from. I always want to do it like I want to go. Good night. You know, like when we start, I want to go.
So
It's
good
me,
night.
Nick Noyes,
Him.
and you're meant to go. Me, Brad Action.
Yeah, we kind of do that as
you
well.
don't do it because I was there.
When
Right.
did you stop being Brad Acton and when did you start being Brad Action?
It
Because
was
that was
early.
a really
You
cool
are.
switch.
Early
I'm not-
episodes, wasn't it? And
I'm not sure it switched at one point. Like
No.
I didn't listen in the middle, and then all of a sudden you're Brad Action. I was like, that's really
because
cool.
I wanted a rock
That
star
is
name.
cool.
Because he's
Really
Nick Noyes,
cool.
and I was like, I want a rock star name. And then
I've been saying Brad Action.
actually, I
for
think
a
it was Brad
long
Humble
time.
might have said Brad Action.
A couple of people
Someone
said
sort of mentioned it online.
Yeah, it's
And we were like, yeah, we'll have that.
really good.
it is good. Isn't
Yeah, I'm
it?
Brad Action. Action.
Yeah, and
man.
I think I say it most of the time. I think.
Yeah, I should get a tattoo, shouldn't I?
Well, I'll do one.
What, a Brad Action one?
Yeah.
Of you holding a picture of me. Full spread
No,
on my back.
I can't do realism.
Oh, okay.
Right, good night. Thank you, Neil. Do you want to say good night?
Yeah, say good night.
Say good night.
Good night.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.